Welcome to Through the Table Podcast with Brian, JL, Tom, Rick, and Russ.
Speaking of which, speaking of things of that nature, not the blowy, but the do we want to discuss the ticket sale issue from this past Raw?
Sure.
What was that? The buy one get two free?
I thought it went up to buy three free at one point.
For Black Friday, it was buy one get three free for the day.
What?
Yeah. But they were having the buy one get two free for the last like 3 or 4 weeks though, leading into it.
I wish, I wonder if you could just go up to the I don't need 4 tickets. Just give me a free one.
No, you have to buy the one though to get the free ones. They wouldn't just give them away.
I mean, if they're that desperate.
Well, devil's advocate for last Monday at least is, it's the Monday after a long weekend, Thanksgiving.
Goddamn tryptophan.
Thanksgiving weekend, people are getting back or not home yet,
But didn't SmackDown?
Yeah. How did SmackDown sell out?
SmackDown the day after Thanksgiving.
Sold out. It was sold out.
People were in a tryptophan-like coma, blindly walking to the arena, not knowing they were going.
It's New York though. That's like your hometown. Like back in the day, they've always been known as New York as their territory.
Right. And
they only drew like 6,500 people in a brand new arena. First time there.
And meanwhile, AEW, and yes, I get it. It's a week and a half separated from the festive Thanksgiving holiday, but they've already sold what, 10,000, 11,000, something like that.
A little over 10.
The same arena.
A little over 10,000.
Yeah.
I mean, it was weird because WWE had it set up for like 8,500 anyways, and AEW has it set up for like 12,000. It's the same arena. It's weird that they have it set up differently.
Well, when you block off half your arena to put a giant goddamn video wall up, it's you know what I mean? Like,
but they have the AEW is the same sections behind both stages. They have the same amount of seats open. WWE didn't open up the top area.
Oh, they just didn't open them up. Oh, okay.
No, like right across from where the stage is, they didn't open up the upper deck area. AEW has that open. I don't know why they didn't. I mean, obviously the ticket sales weren't that great, but it's just weird that they had it closed before they, even knew how many tickets they were going to sell.
Right.
So, okay. You can look at it this way too, that AEW has a different audience. They have a more older gentleman audience that just wants to go and be rowdy and have a good time. WWE is more kid driven. I think your Monday night ticket sales are going to suffer as a result of the demographic they're looking at, because this time of year you're coming back to school for the first day. So Russ, I'll actually give you credit there that after the holiday weekend, maybe parents didn't want to take their kids and possibly miss another day of school. All right, we're going to go there on that one. However, Brian, you're 100% right. You're in your own backyard. Your territory is New York. You've always been known as New York. And granted, this is Long Island. It's not Manhattan.
Yeah.
You should be able to be 7/8 full.
Yeah.
7/8 of the way full on that arena should be full without giving away tickets. It just should happen. It's actually unacceptable. And it should be unacceptable.
If the show was in Ohio or something, fine, I could understand that. But being in New York, I don't accept that.
No, that's absolutely ridiculous. That would be like if AEW decided to run a show in Jacksonville that wasn't at, where the Jaguars play, just some random arena, and they sold half the tickets. Literally half. That's what WWE sold. Half the arena was sold.
Right. Yep.
That is And out of the half that showed up, by the way, the 6,500 that showed up, how many legit paid if they were doing buy one, get two free, and at one point buy one, get three free? You're talking probably what? Maybe 2,000, 2,500 seats that were actually paid for. Now, money doesn't mean anything because so for the average person, they're going to see that in that picture that I sent you guys of Randy Orton with the crowd, no crowd there at all.
Right.
The average fan who doesn't realize is going to look at that and say, oh, the WWE must be losing money. No, they've got their TV deals. They got Peacock. They got the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia giving them terrorist money. It's fine. They're making money hand over fist. Literally 3 people could show up and no one's going to care. Exactly.
Yeah, they could just have an empty arena show and still make money on it.
Amir the belt maker is giving them plenty of money. But it's a big deal when you look at the fact that it is indeed in their backyard and AEW comes into a territory. This is something that is unheard of. This is something that back in the territory days and even 20 years ago, remember when WCW showed up and sold out Boston?
Yep.
Boston was always WWE country. And WCW comes in and sells it out in record time.
Right.
And it's the same thing. Your rival, whether you want to admit that they're your rival or not, you're doing a lot of business moves to prove that they are indeed your rival, and you're a little bit concerned about them. Your rival just walked into your backyard, set up shop. And by the way, you want to talk about beachfront property, Edge? AEW has beachfront property in Vince McMahon's head. And Monday night, they just added an extension on there. And we can get into those interviews and stuff too, because those promos, if y'all would like, that's actually a pretty decent transition.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna play control of the show, guys. I don't appreciate that. I feel bad.
Go for it.
I'm sorry. Usually I just sit back and let you all run it. Let's talk about those promos from Monday night. I thought I didn't like it. I'll tell you right now. So we had Edge and Miz. They take a couple of shots at some of the released wrestlers, and then you had and Brian, you could go in more detail on this, and I'll add my 2 cents. And then you had the whole gimmick with Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch, where basically now it's become a storyline that all the releases are because of Becky Lynch's big contract. So these people have lost their livelihoods, and a lot of them probably aren't ever going to wrestle again. Thank God, Nia Jax. But these people basically lost their jobs, and we're just going to make it a storyline, and we're going to say it's all big time Bex's fault.
Yep.
Great. Awesome. I hope my company does that if they ever fire me. Let's make it a storyline.
Because their contract's so expensive, they had to get rid of people to pay for.
I liked both promos. And Becky Lynch actually brought up Liv Morgan's friends first in a backstage segment, and it was Liv Morgan's response to that. Not to say that's right or wrong, but Becky Lynch started it.
Well, it's all WWE writers, so it's not like either they really started it.
Right.
It's not like she went up to her unscripted. This was something that they had planned in advance, that they were going to turn this into a storyline where Becky's the fault for these people getting fired.
And the thing with Edge and The Miz, that was the whole thing was great, and that was just like just a line that Edge just like threw away. That if he, I feel like if he said it anywhere else, if he said it at Impact, or if he said it at AEW, MLW, whatever, if he said it at Target, it wouldn't have been a problem. It just, people are trying to find things to bash the WWE over, and if you find it, then great. But like sometimes it's just kind of like, I mean, I know I stick up for the WWE a lot more than others,
which is fine.
But in this situation, I mean, it's just like it wasn't that bad.
All right, I agree it wasn't that bad, but here's my issue with it. Don't go on WWE programming saying that another company, that you have beachfront property in another company's head, when you are literally mentioning that other company on your show in response to what they did on their show, which you wouldn't have known if you didn't watch said show, who has the actual property located in their cranium. Hi, Vince, because it's you, because it's your writers who wrote. By the way, Edge, wash your goddamn hair. Holy crap. Who's got greasier hair, CM Punk right now or Edge? Jesus Christ.
Probably Tony D'Angelo
So wait,
guy.
who has the greasiest hair, CM Punk, Jesus Christ, or Edge? Is that
Oh, no, I just throw Jesus in there. It's his time of year. It's his birthday. It's coming up.
I mean,
hope you
he
got him
probably
something
has some
nice.
greasy hair.
He might. Well, at this point, he would.
Yeah.
2021 years is a long time. Long time to go without a shower. It's hard to wash it with the holes in your hands.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What, too soon? It's been over 2,000 years. Rick, you've been quiet. I want to hear from you. So anyway, as I was saying.
No, I don't think if, like I said the other day, I don't think if it was any other promotion, people would be enjoying this. I think, like I said, if if Tony Khan just released a bunch of guys and then they went on, the Young Bucks are on there being like, oh, we just, contract extension. That's why Joey Janela, Sonny Kiss, Fuego del Sol, and all those guys get fired.
Mm-hmm.
That's, as much as they all probably should get fired at some point, but I don't feel like that would be, that's not, I just don't, I don't want to see anybody get fired. It's just, but that's exactly, it's just, it's not a good, it's just not a good way to further a storyline or anything, or even start a storyline, or just, that shouldn't be a storyline at all. I feel like there's just, it's like I keep using the same kind of, example. It's like with the whole MJF thing, Ric Flair in, the 80s isn't like, these guys got fired. That's why, my contract's so big. Or, you know what I mean? It's just, there's just certain things in wrestling that have always worked. And I feel like they're just getting away from everything like that. You know what I mean? It's just, and I mean, I get it, you called me a douche on Twitter, so now we got to fight at WrestleMania and War Games or something. You know what I mean? Like this, I get it. It's just 2021. You have to have that kind of stuff. But just, I don't know, sometimes, hey, I want to fight you because if I beat you, I get paid more.
Sure.
And, you know what I mean? I make more money. Or if I'm the champ, I make more money.
Yep.
That's like when Kevin Owens first got to NXT and he beat Sami Zayn. That's the whole thing. Well, if I'm the champ, I get paid more. If I get paid more, I can take care of my family.
Right.
And it's just like, he was a heel, but it was, like I mean, can't fault the guy for just wanting to take care of his family. You know what I mean? So it's like just stuff like that. It worked, and I don't see why it still can't work. Like, why does it need to be, your friends got fired, or, who stole my egg, or just whatever. Like, I just, I don't know. It's like I enjoy wrestling. I enjoy a lot of wrestling, but sometimes, and it's not because it's the cool thing to do WWE. It's just the product is unwatchable. Same reason I don't watch Impact, because it's unwatchable. It's there's nothing entertaining about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just to watch a 2-hour show on Friday just because I think Paul Heyman is hilarious. It's not it's not enough for me to watch SmackDown. It's just same thing with Mondays. I'm, not watching a 3-hour show. I got better stuff to do with my time. It's not. There's nothing entertaining going on.
I just think it's disingenuous. I wouldn't care, to your point, Russ, and to Rick, what you were just saying. I wouldn't care what promotion it was. You fire a bunch of people, you claim it's budget cuts, which is a lie because you're making money hand over fist.
Right.
And you make it a storyline. You're basically making light of these people's firings. And there's a lot of people who got fired, a lot of these lower level NXT guys, that this was it. This was their shot. This was their chance.
Yep.
And it's up in smoke now. And you're making light of that by making it a storyline. You don't have to do that. The people who have landed on their feet, and the majority of these people will,
Sure.
like Ruby Soho, for instance, thinks it's the greatest thing that ever happened.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these other people have come out and said, this was the best thing that's ever happened to me. Getting released was the best thing that ever happened to me. But there are people out there who still have not gotten a job. The lower level people who may never get a job in wrestling again. You're basically taking a job by turning it into a storyline. You just don't have to do it. You already have a matchup that the fans want to see, because for some reason people rally around Liv Morgan. I don't understand it. I don't see the talent there, but the fans love her and I don't get it, but whatever. And a heel who, by the way, Bubba Ray comes out and says looks like she's doing heel for dummies 101, and he's not wrong.
Right.
But I mean, at the same time, even though it's once again, it works. You know what I mean? Just like, as much as it's heel for dummies, she's kind of clever. You know what I mean? I think I like the gimmick, even though I feel like it's pretty much a female version of Seth Rollins at this point.
Yes.
Just with the wacky clothes and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, they wear the same clothes.
They definitely go shopping every weekend. And
Yeah.
just like, let's buy the dumbest, most ridiculous outfit as possible to wear tomorrow.
Seems that way.
That's fine. They're having fun.
I mean, hey.
As a couple, it's good. If it stops him from sending his a picture of his penis to other women, that's fine. Let him have fun doing that.
Goodness. And I guess the people in the back were not happy with, of course, what was said. A lot of people took it very badly. They didn't enjoy that at all.
And thank you for saying that.
Not just upper management talent, of course.
So here's the difference. In AEW, you had MJF versus CM Punk on the mic, and the talent were all scattered around the monitor. Mm-hmm. And to the point where Mark Henry actually was like, I had to go out into the crowd to feel the moment, to feel it, to experience it. And a lot of the other talent did the same thing. Everyone loved it. You go to WWE and you're doing this, and the talent is pissed. You're alienating your own people by trying to drive a point home, by trying to make it a stupid storyline when you don't need to. You just don't need to do it.
And it was almost like throwaway lines, like no one even's going to remember about it in 2 weeks, And
like they didn't even.
I guess they uploaded the videos and they re-uploaded them, and they took out those bits out of the videos that they put on YouTube now, because they were getting so much crap from the talent about it. They didn't think it should be on there, so they went and edited those pieces out now. So if you go on and look on YouTube, there's no mention of it anymore. So it's like it never happened now.
Which is funny because, like, I remember seeing on Twitter and stuff, like the clip, and then the, quoting the whole promo, and now it's.
Yep.
Didn't they do that a while back?
Now it's been erased. It's been erased out of history. That it never happened.
Yep.
They did that with something else. I want to say, like, a while back.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I mean, no, it was after that one.
Yeah, no, I remember what you're referencing, but I can't recall what it was. But yeah, they went and they edited stuff out.
Right.
I can't recall what it was though. There was something stupid they did.
They
Same
do
thing
that
with-
a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It just frustrates me because it doesn't have to be done.
No,
It just didn't have to be done. And now
No,
you're
it just-
pissing
it
off
was-
your own people.
it was just there to get back at AEW, basically, is what they were all saying. They're like, what can we do to get back at that? The MJF and Miz reference lines.
Which is the
They were
point.
pissed about that.
Which is the point that I'm trying to make.
Mm-hmm.
Who's in whose head?
Yep.
Who's got the real estate in whose head?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And he didn't say it in a bad light. It was just a reference to it. That's all.
Right. And you know something?
I'm sure
Punk-
the Miz was excited his name was mentioned. I'm sure he was.
Of course, because
That was amazing, by the way.
It was awesome.
Because that's what I said on the podcast a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'd take the Miz over MJF any day. And it's just the fact that Punk was just like, I was like, yeah, Punk's with B.
But I also like the Cena reference. The whole hustle, loyalty, respect thing. And I loved when Punk said that unless we wait around for Tony Khan to have a daughter that you marry.
Right. Yeah.
But apparently that got a lot of heat with WWE too. Everyone's pissed. But guess what? It's true. You literally married the boss's daughter so you could have your top spot. Maybe that's not the reason you did it, but you kept your top spot because you did it. It's not helping him out now, but whatever. It did at the time.
But that kind of goes back to what I was saying. I guess also to respond to your buddy there that commented on the video. It's the same thing. That whole interview back and forth. MJF's all like calling him a meth head and whatever, all this stuff, and Punk mentions Rosie O'Donnell. The fact that he had you have my poster on your wall.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He wasn't being vulgar. He wasn't being an asshole. Like, you know what I mean? You could still be a prick and not, like I said, be vulgar about it. And it's just, I find it hilarious that, like I said, Punk didn't even, I don't like, no curse words or no.
Well,
edgy.
he called him a needle dick, though.
Yeah, he did say needle
okay,
dick.
but that is pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
No, it's not like super vulgar, but
Right.
it showed that MJF got a little bit under his skin.
The best thing was that the stuff that that you're saying that Punk was referencing, I had to look it up. That's
all
how
legit. Mhm.
deep it was. And
Right.
like you see that little documentary that they have on MJF that the
Yeah.
guy came out with them, like looking at independent wrestlers like a few years ago.
Mhm.
There's a picture of CM Punk right there on
Yep.
MJF's
Right.
wall right at the beginning. It's like, oh man, this all makes sense. So at the time, I'm like, these lines are great. And then after, as like, I'm on the elliptical looking this stuff up, like, oh wow, that stuff's genius.
And they do it all over their shows.
See,
repeatedly.
and that's the kind of stuff I like, the clever stuff. It's once again going back to your buddy. The same thing with Max Caster. It's like that the one that he got in trouble for, like with the Duke Lacrosse and the Simone Biles. Like I didn't like that. I thought that was terrible. But at the same time, when like he's Max Caster will be like, tells Daniel Bryan that, I'll end your career, like I'll end more careers than your father-in-law. That's hilarious because that's a dig. You know what I mean? It's not, like I said, they didn't make a storyline out of people getting fired, but at the same time, it was a shot at WWE per se, and also just for the smart fans,
Mhm.
it's a good one-liner, and once again, there's no vulgarity. Nobody was being aborted or swallowed, or you know what I mean. Just I don't know.
He has to get all of his raps approved now by Tony before he can do them.
Right, which is I mean, I guess.
But he won't stop him from doing it. It's just he might have
Yeah,
to edit something a little bit if he doesn't think it's right.
Right.
You
tone it
cross the
down a
line
little.
once, the next thing you know,
Yep.
you got to get it approved. Until I'm
Right.
sure at some point, then he's off the leash again.
Oh, I'm sure.
It
Yeah.
always happens.
Mhm.
I'd love to at some point bring a non-wrestling fan or not a smart wrestling fan on and have them watch Raw, have them watch AEW for incidences like
Mhm.
that,
Sure.
just to see what they're what they'd be thinking. Because like I can't even imagine thinking like, what is this guy saying? Like what is that? Why is everybody going, oh, like of
Right.
course you'll go to Google and stuff like that, but like it's interesting how it would make a non-fan a fan too.
Mhm.
I mean, that's I can see. I definitely see your point because the crowd that AEW caters to is very. It is a very. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not like the casual fan isn't going to be invested,
Yeah.
but at the same time, you know, they're if they're okay with their, you know, million views every week and you know the pay-per-view buys and stuff like that, you know, TBS and TNT are happy with it, you know, and it's so like I can see the, you know, especially like with AEW where it's like, well, this happened on, you know, the Young Bucks YouTube show, or this happened on, you know, some other, you know, wrestling show that's, you know what I mean? Like Excalibur is always like, oh, they, you know, fought at a battle of Los Angeles. And it's like, you know, the smart fans gonna be like, oh, that I remember that match. That was awesome. But like, you know, the casual fans gonna be like, the what? You know, and maybe hopefully something like that they can Google and
Yeah.
become a fan of more wrestling. But like, you know, the casual fan's not gonna understand that, you know, Daniel Bryan's father-in-law is John Laurinaitis, who just fired a bunch of people. You know what I mean? So it's
Sure.
you know, so like, but then again, you know, WWE, I guess it's a little easier because it's the same thing every week, and I guess you'll always be caught up. You know what I mean? Because
Well, they review everything like 16 times a show too, don't
Oh.
they?
Right.
Still,
Every single time.
like if Brock Lesnar opens up SmackDown and does the situation, you'll see it 17 times, so you'll know it 16 more times. You'll see it.
they
You're
even
also, you
they
also
even
gotta know
have a
who's
Raw.
trending.
They have a Raw SmackDown recap on NXT now too.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Ah,
Yeah.
Yep.
They do it on Raw too.
I mean, I guess, you know,
What's that? What's that on Raw?
The SmackDown recap.
yeah, I've seen actually seen
I
that.
can understand that.
right.
Yeah, it's lame though. We're in 2000, almost 2022. You can see the highlights and all that. Like you don't see you don't see the, you know, this is what happened on Dynamite tonight on Rampage.
No.
That
I guess
they
if you have a
got their
3
Twitter
hour, if
account
you have
for
a
that.
3 hour show, you gotta do some other stuff. No one's gonna sit through 3 hours anyways. Especially with what they put out recently.
Oh, especially with, and I'll say this too, with those camera angles, the camera cuts and all that stuff, I can't do it. I just can't.
Thank you, Kevin Dunn.
I my head, I tried. I literally tried. It wasn't this past week, it was the week before that. And my head started to hurt. My eyes started to hurt, just all the different cuts. I'm like, I just can't. It's not worth it.
Yeah, he goes overboard on that. Totally.
Yeah.
It's too much.
So
Let the work speak for itself.
My thing is like too, which it's like when what was it when CM Punk came back and they did like the video of inside the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, so the guy's like, all right, ready, camera 2, go camera 2, you know, ready, camera 4, go camera 4. So like if that's how it is in the WWE production truck, is Kevin Dunn just like,
go camera 1, go camera 2, go camera 1,
6,
camera
5,
3,
7, 7, 8, 2, 5, 4, 4. It's just like, how, like,
No, he just cuts between them. He doesn't tell them which camera they're going to. He says, stay on the action.
oh, and he's just hitting buttons on.
He's just hitting as many buttons as possible as fast
Jesus
as he can.
Christ.
In the WWE truck, it's stay on the action. And if they tell you to change, you change. You might hear one cue to camera 4, do this, and then you're supposed to keep doing that until he tells you to change. Where AEW seems like everyone needs to know what's going on. Dunn runs a truck differently. I mean, it just depends on the person.
Yeah, because some of their
Yeah, it's all Dunn hitting the buttons as fast as he can because he thinks it's funny or something. I never liked when he did that. It was just, it's too much.
How old is Kevin Dunn?
I think he's in his 50s now.
He's been doing it forever.
Yeah, yeah.
You'd think he'd be good at it by now.
We came in as I think he was a originally he was with the camera guy running around holding the wires. That's what was his first job.
oh really?
And then he made it all the way up to here now. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, he's been there for a long time now, but I don't know at least 10 years is in charge of all the production.
All systems have been shut down for consistency of programming and also for errors and viruses. System diagnostic is now currently underway. All systems have been shut down for consistency of programming and also for errors and viruses.